Thomas and Friends 47 here, and today we're taking a look at Day Out with TF47, Episode 2, A Big Day for Thomas and Friends 47. And today, this episode, the one that we've all been waiting for, is the day where we are at Tweetsie and at the actual Day Out with Thomas event. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here we are heading up the side of the mountain, and there you can see in the distance Tweetsie Railroad, and it just looks so amazing. I always get so excited on these trips. You see there is the little sheds there where they keep the engines, and of course the theme park there to the left. And then going up the hill there, you'll see the station. And then once you come into the park, the first stop that I always go to is the merchandise space, and that's the gift shop here at the pavilion. And you can see all the different merchandise that they have this year. Very excited to see the new motorized Day Out with Thomas engines. They always have this mini station set up, and I've never purchased any of the minis from the Day Out with Thomas events because they're a little bit pricey in my opinion. But I don't know. I probably should have picked some up, but you can see here they have all the different ones. I don't know if these are the newer style. I did not see the Railway Series Golden Thomas, so I was looking for that one though. And here's some other merchandise items. They have like toothbrush sets, they have blankets, notebooks, bento boxes, which look very nice, but they were all Indigo styled. But I thought they were still cute. These little popcorn containers. I actually have that popcorn container I got at last year's event. And then, of course, the little Thomas Christmas ornament, which I thought was adorable. They have these little towels, the bags. I loved the bags so much. There was, like, birthday bags. They had little Day Out with Thomas 80th anniversary logo on them. I mean, just so much cool stuff. Little plushies, the whistles. I didn't get a whistle here, but I'll go over more of what I got and what I did on my merch haul video. Now, I was disappointed. Other than the Day Out with Thomas classic CGI model, there was no other like CGI models. None of the newer merchandise was here. The barrel loader set, none of that was here yet. You do see a lot of wooden railway. I did see these motorized sets, which I hadn't seen in person, which I thought was cool. Excited to see those. But merchandise wise, there was not any of the newer stuff. I did like the range of merchandise that they had. I thought it was a good choice, but I was hoping for some of the newer CGI merchandise stuff. Here we can see more of the motorized AEG range, and really, I don't think they had much push along either. They had a few push along items, but the majority of it was the motorized range, which is very cool there, because that's the main range that I collect, so I enjoyed that. You can see the Thomas and Skiff set there, and then of course the crane and train super tower. Very awesome. You have the little ornaments again, better look at those, and these awesome Thomas neckties, which I thought were adorable. And then here on the other side, we have these sets that are like the displays, and so they're in action. Which I thought was neat too, because that really shows parents of younger engineers, the older engineers. It shows them how the set works, and they can see it in action. That's pretty cool. Alright, then they had all these great hats. I wish they would have been in adult sizes. If these were adult sizes, I probably would have bought every one of them. Unfortunately, they didn't have many in adult sizes. Thomas football, they had some push along here. And then here's a better look at the Minis case sign. Now, other than the Thomas merchandise, in different shops in Tweetsie, they have Wild West style merchandise, and then they have train merchandise, and this is the majority of the train merchandise. You can see there they had a lot of different items. Some of them were actually pretty cool. Little train shirts there, little hats, and things like that. Just various stuff. And then little tanker trucks there, and little transfer trucks like the Tweetsie logo, which I thought was cool too. I'm looking for a model of the train that pulls us, an engine 19, I want to say it is. I want that model because I would love to make one of those in Trackmaster, and so I'd be able to put it with Thomas. Then they had Thomas Wind Railway logo, and then Thomas Wind Railway shelves. They didn't have any Thomas Wind Railway items in this particular store. They did have Thomas playing on the TV though, which I thought was pretty cool. Classic Thomas at that too. Remember little letter trains? Those are like nostalgic for me because I'm a 90s kid. We used to have those in the 90s, little Smith's Toy train catalog, and they would spell out the letters of your name, and that was cool. And there's little bears and like the tractors, and the reason I filmed these, I know it's not Tractor Channel, but they were made by Ertl. I thought it was cool. And there's the TV that I was talking about earlier with Thomas on it. Alright, and here we can see Thomas and Tweetsie. Now, after I went to the merch shop, I went and dropped the items off with my mom. She was resting on the porch. She lives over there. They have a little spot with like rocking chairs and everything. And then I went to find my brother, who had gone up to the theme park part of the park. So like where they have the amusement rides and everything. And you can see here Thomas there. I wanted to get a shot of Thomas. Of course, him chugging out of the station. It just looks so awesome. And this never gets old. Like when you see Thomas in person, it never gets old. It makes you feel like a kid again. And it's just this incredible experience that it's hard to explain, but it's really cool. Of course, there is the steam engine helping Thomas today. And we can see them puffing out of the station. That's engine 190, excuse me, not engine 19. engine 190. I really do want to make a custom of this someday. Alright, so I went up the mountain. There's this nice little bus ride here, and you can see that we're going up the mountain. It's a very steep mountain, but it was cool. And we are going to find my brother so that we can go meet Sir Topham Hatt. There's me and Porter. Now, when I got to the top of the mountain, he actually was not up there. He was in the second part of the mountain that has more amusement rides, so I took the ski lift down. I have never took a ski lift before, so it was an interesting experience. It was actually a lot of fun. It felt like I was flying, and I faced my fears, because I've seen this for like 3 years, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it, but I finally faced my fears and did it this year. And then, lo and behold, I did find my brother, and he is there on the spinning cart. He's the one there in the blue. Very cool. Alright, so from there we headed down the mountain and we went to meet Sir Topham Hatt. And there's this little area, so they have like the different engine signs. Mark got a picture with Bruno. That's my brother, Mark. And then Percy, of course, little signs, Diesel, and all the different engine characters. I just love those. Adds to the experience, you could say. And then right before you get to Sir Topham Hatt, they have this little engine station where there is Percy and Ashima. And so I was able to get a picture with Percy, and then we took a selfie with Ashima there, and there's of course Mark with Ashima there too. I love the little mini-styled engines. Alright, and here is the Sir Topham Hatt station. Now, it's a little bit different from last year. Normally, there would be a scavenger hunt they could pick up from here, but they didn't do that this year, at least at this event. You can see the different times that Sir Topham Hatt's available. They had this nice little app station, so little things going on there, Thomas Wynn Railway Table, and they had this little sign that you could color, and I actually drew my, my name, Thomas47, on it. And we got our picture with Sir Topham Hatt, and that was a really cool experience. We got some coloring sheets there, and it actually turns into a birthday card for Thomas, some little tattoos. I've never seen a Sir Topham Hatt tattoo, so I thought that was cool, so I got that too. This ride right here, I believe it's called the Himalayan. That was the scariest ride I've ever took in my life. It really isn't that scary, but I'm a baby when it comes to amusement park rides, but it was fun. And then we went to ride more rides at the top, and then it was time for our journey on Thomas to ride with our Day Out with Thomas. So here he is coming around the corner. Oh, that's just so absolutely amazing. You can see there, and it really does make you feel like it's the island of Sodor, especially with Tweetsie Road, because it's set in the country and it's just so cool. But here he is pulling into the station, and then as he comes down, we can see there he's looking over and his eyes move back and forth, and he's looking at all the passengers getting ready to board the train. Alright, and then here we are on board the train. You can see there's a little water tower there to the right. Me and my family were all ready to go on our Day Out with Thomas. And I brought a little mini Thomas, so this is of course the motorized engine. It's a replica of the one that's pulling us. And then it was time for us to leave the station. Alright, here we go. We can see here as it chugs out of the station there, like everybody's waving. It's just a really cool experience. The passengers are waving to the, the associates, sorry, Walmart lingo, the employees of the railroad standing by the line side waving to the passengers on the train, and it's a fun experience. We can see too there's a sheriff there. And there's different characters that are on board the train as well. But here we go out of the park and onto the open rails. And as we round the corner there, you can see the view from the train too, and it's beautiful because you get to see all this countryside, and of course, like the different, that's the pavilion where we were earlier shopping with the Thomas merch. Just everybody waving alongside the rails. It really does feel like Sodor because, again, you have like these beautiful mountains and countryside, beautiful blue sky, and it's amazing to think about, really. And here we have little Thomas plush. My friend got that for me. I had to bring him along on my adventure here with Thomas. He was very excited. And then, of course, again, the replica Thomas, enjoying our beautiful train ride through the country. Alright, so for those who haven't been to Tweetsie Road before, it is a Wild Western themed theme park, and so as you're going along the train, and I love this shot too of Thomas going around the corner there, very beautiful shot, but they have a show in the middle of the train ride. So they stop at this little Wild West town that they have set up, and it's really cool, and it's a cute little show too. I won't show the show on here, you know, I want it to be a surprise if you go to visit, but I do think it's really cool. So this is the first part, a little wild western town, and then you come up to Fort Boone, which is just past this, and that's where the little live show takes place. And the characters that are on the train with you, so there's a Wild West carrier for each car, character for each car, and those will disembark for that show in the middle. So it's very interactive, very cool. And then here's a shot of the tender there, and here we are coming around the corner to that fort in the middle of the line.
Yes, you know, train rollers. Desperado. Desperado, you know.
After the show, it's back on track, and then we're heading back into town. You can see here as we're going around the mountain where we were in that first shot, you can see how we're coming back in through the town here. There's the little sheds there with the signal, and then we'll puff right back into the town setting here. Alright, so all in all, what do I think of Day Out with Thomas? Well, I'm going to tell you, it is an amazing experience. As a Thomas fan, I highly recommend it. If you have the opportunity to go Day Out with Thomas, I absolutely 100% recommend it. It really is an event for all ages. It is going to depend on where you go, and to what effect that is. With Tweetsie, it's a really good mix because, you know, I myself am a huge Thomas fan. That's no surprise to anyone. But my mom and brother, while they like Thomas, it's not, you know, their main thing that they like. My brother's more of a video game person, and he likes theme park rides, things like that. And my mom is more laid back. She likes to sit on the porch and look at the countryside and that kind of thing. So while I'm doing all the Thomas related stuff, you know, my brother's able to go up to the top of the park and ride the theme park rides, and then I do ride those too, but like the majority of my time I'm doing Thomas stuff. And then my mom, she's able to just like chill out on the porch, and she plays her video games. She loves Animal Crossing, and so she's able to do that. So it's a really nice mix and balance for all of us to be able to enjoy the whole day at Tweetsie. That's a good thing too, because with Tweetsie Railroad, you get the train ride, but you also get the theme park admission. Like, all of that is one cost. So you get your train ride, you get the theme park rides and everything, and then you get to do all of that all day. So if your train ride is at 10:30 in the morning, you can stay all the way till they close at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And then, you know, vice versa. If your train ride's at 5, you can come in at 10:30 and still enjoy the entire park till your train ride time. So I really do like that too, and I think that's a good value for the money. But it was just so cool to be able to see Thomas, and I love Day Out with Thomas anyway, but especially this, you know, it feels more special because this is Thomas's 80th anniversary, or 80th birthday. So to be able to see Thomas and be able to tell him happy birthday, you know, it's a really cool experience, and it makes you feel like a kid again, because you are getting to see a life-size version of this beautiful, magical blue train that we all fell in love with many, many years ago, and just getting to see it in person is a really, really cool experience. Alright everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this Day Out with Thomas coming up to North Carolina with us. We're going to go ahead and sign off for this episode, but be sure to stay tuned for episode 3, which is going to be the Thomas birthday haul, which shows all the great Thomas items, all the merchandise and stuff that I was able to get while on this vacation. So be sure to stay tuned for that. As always, I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.